We got another one in the house for you today. We got Ethan Stevenson, man. How you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, doing good, man. Life's treating me well.
Good, good, man. How was your New Year's?
Good. Unfortunately, wasn't able to, celebrate New Year's with a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Had a close relative get COVID, so had to kind of hang out in like a smaller group. But
Yeah.
overall, yeah, it was good.
Good, 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 man. Well, I hope your relative gets better from the COVID. I know we got another variant that's kind of going around, kind of crazy. Hope it doesn't put a dent in your schedule as always. I mean, as normal,
Yeah,
because I know a lot of guys are heading back to Florida next month, and I don't know what they're gonna do with these travel restrictions, man. But I hope it doesn't slow you
sure.
guys down. That's for sure, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, not a problem. So let's get into you, man. Let's what's going on, man? I know you got a passion for motocross. I know you like to ride. You've been doing it for a long time. Hit the pro ranks, man. What else besides motocross that you live for? What do you got a passion
What I
for?
live for. Yeah, I always like questions like that, man. Like get off the motocross topic a little bit.
Okay.
For me, I'm a big basketball fan.
Oh,
So when
okay.
I'm not racing, yeah, you'll see me either like at the local courts shooting hoops, playing pickup games, or just watching games in general. So a big basketball fan, Miami Heat fan. Jimmy Butler
Okay.
is my guy for
There you
sure.
go.
And then I know I enjoy serving in my community as much as possible too.
Okay.
I Yeah, I volunteer at my church and help out with the youth stuff there. So it's a big
Okay.
passion of mine. Yeah, I enjoy it.
How long you been going to church? How long has that been a passion of yours?
So I grew up like my parents were Christians, so I grew
Mm-hmm.
up in like a Christian family, but I wasn't all for it majority of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started going to church like consistently for the last since 2018.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
okay, man. So tell me a little bit about yourself that that people don't know about you, man. Besides church and your passion, what's some little grit I can get into? What
Some
else?
grit. Man, that's a tough question. I guess I don't know, a cool fact about me and something I really value about myself is I'm on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
So for me, a big reason I race and a big reason I brand myself and brand autism awareness is because for me, like my parents pushed me so much in motocross, and it helped me a lot with things I struggled with
Okay.
um, because of autism.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's cool facts about myself, and it definitely doesn't define me, but it's a cool thing about me. Not too many people know, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't know that. That's interesting to know, man. And then you to push out and race motocross, I know that kind of definitely helps you out quite a bit.
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Even just on the social side, like
Yeah.
a lot of kids on the spectrum become very antisocial just
Mm-hmm.
because their communication skills aren't as good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pretty big challenge for them to learn,
Mm-hmm.
big learning curve. So for me, racing and having my parents make me go after sponsors and communicate for myself has been a huge help in that area.
That's good. Now let's go back to a little bit about church, man. So you go to church quite often. What do you think? What do you think your mission in life is? What do you think? Like your what do they say? What's another word that I'm looking for? Not mission, but
Like
your
life
journey.
purpose,
Yeah,
or
your
yeah,
purpose. Your purpose. Your journey. Your purpose. What do you think your purpose in life is? Have you figured that out yet? You think?
yeah, for sure. So for me, my faith is it's my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship with Christ is my number one priority. But when it comes to my life mission, for me, it's for sure sharing the gospel and sharing Jesus with people that don't know Him,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, just doing good. I don't know if you've seen my website or seen
I
my
have.
Instagram, but
I have.
yeah, I have a slogan: "Do good." It's And for me that just means loving others as
Mm-hmm.
you love yourself. So, and
Amen.
that's a big principle from the Bible and from Jesus's ministry. And I think if I can walk my life or go through my life loving others as
Mm-hmm.
Christ has loved me, that'll just lead to bringing joy to others, and most importantly, uh, joy to myself, because I don't think anything feels as good as helping another person.
Exactly. It does
Sure.
make you feel good when you're out there helping other people out, man. For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Um, so what are you most grateful for?
Most grateful for me, yeah, it comes back to like my relationship with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
motocross and everything in life is perishing and getting closer to the end every day. Every time we throw our leg over a dirt bike, we're getting one step closer to that being our last time, whether it's injury, whether it's getting too old, retirement. There's so many factors,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing in life that is consistent and never perishing and not perishing is Christ. So for me, um, yeah, that's what I value the most. And then relationships I have, family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big family guy, and I really try to take every opportunity I can to make memories with family and grow that relationship. So yeah, definitely my relationship with the Lord and family.
So who do you think the most influential person is in your life at this point right now?
Most influential person. So for me, pretty easy. It's like my dad for sure.
Okay.
Hardest working person I know. Does so much for me to be able to race, but
Mm-hmm.
even behind that, like he's just my best friend. Really supportive over my goals
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. And then outside of family, it would be my friend Trey,
Okay.
Trey Kennard. So I
Mm-hmm.
was a big fan of Trey, just as a supercross athlete for years growing up, and he was my the guy I looked up to the most, you could say. And
Mm-hmm.
me and him started communicating and back in like 2017, and we've grown in friendship. And he's pretty much been my my best friend, my role model. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, the reason I look up to him is it has nothing to do with just his supercross career and results. Like all that stuff's awesome, but it's who he is off the track and behind closed doors. That's really amazing. What you see is what you get with him, and he just walks with good character even when no one's watching. So definitely look up to that.
That's good, man. That you guys were able to make friends, and you guys are kind of like on the same basis as well, man. It actually makes the
Yeah,
friendship a lot better, a lot
for
easier.
sure.
You know what I mean? So, like I always tell people, man, the type of energy you put off is what you receive, man. So
Definitely.
what you got going on with you is what's going to surround you. So, with that being said, man, I just want to know, like, last question on this type of topic, but everybody kind of goes through ups and downs, man, and setbacks in life. And have you ever experienced any major setbacks that you want to discuss, or that you been through that you learned from?
Yeah. So for me, um, I I went through a really challenging time in 2018.
Okay.
Um, And long story short is I went to a race at Gopher Dunes for the Parts Canada Amateur Open in the intermediate class, and I went out for practice and was losing the vision of my left eye. Got really blurry, and I thought it was like heat exhaustion or something. Like super hot day. I didn't really think much of it,
Okay.
or maybe I didn't sleep well, or maybe I didn't eat the way I should have. But I was losing the vision in my eye, and then I went up for the first moto, and all the vision of my eye left. And I ended up going to a really scary moment for me because there was no I don't know, I couldn't figure out anything that could cause that.
Yeah.
And at first, I was hoping, it's just heat exhaustion, or maybe I'm dehydrated, or I hit my head a few weeks previous to that, just a little crash. So I thought, maybe it's concussion symptoms, and I came back too early, or
Okay.
something. So I ended up going to the eye doctor, and at first they thought they saw a tumor in my eye, so I did a biopsy, and it came back not as cancer. But I went and got a doctor diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was just at that point, it was a big life change because I had to step away from the sport, and everything I kind of um, built my life around. My whole
Yes.
what I thought my purpose was a dirt bike and nothing bigger than that. So when it got taken away from me, I was like
Yeah.
shook for real. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was crazy. So because I'm a Christian, though, like I believe that the Lord heals, and I had a good group of believers praying for me, and it was about a 3 month span of just seeking and seeking and seeking, and eventually I had an encounter, and my vision came back. So
Wow.
just like really um, just crazy time, and I went from not being able to see to being able to see and beginning to ride again. So after that, I took some time off from the sport,
Hmm.
just from there's other relying health issues besides my vision, and
Hmm.
it was about a year and a half without racing, and that's probably the most challenging thing I've ever been through. But the Lord is so good, and has provided me with an opportunity to go back and train. This last year, 2020, one was my first year back full time training. I was able to go to Florida from end of February to just before Walton, and after like a year and a half off from the sport, my first race back was Daytona Amateur Supercross, and
Okay.
which is like a big, big jump back.
Oh
But
yeah.
really grateful to be back racing, and yeah, just grateful to see what the Lord's done in my life since then.
Man, you've been through a lot. No, I have to say that, man, and you're back on the starting line, which was a beautiful thing, man. To to just hear your story, man. I mean, I've heard just about every story on here, and when you think you heard them all, you haven't. Another one's everybody's story is different, dude, and it's amazing how everybody comes back and fights, and and kind of puts themselves through it, and it's back on the starting line. So you went through
Yeah.
3 months of just like not being able to see, or you went through a whole year or so not being able to see because you took a year and a
Uh,
half off.
so 3 months not being able to see, and then I took a year and a half off just because I was dealing with other health
Hmm.
issues, and not feeling healthy, and definitely wasn't time to start racing again.
Hmm.
I was riding maybe like twice a week or so,
Okay.
but at that point for me, when I was a little bit older, I was 18 or 19 at the time, and unless you can train full time in this sport
Yeah.
and be on the bike every day, it's pretty much impossible to make it. And for me, at that time, I was just riding for fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's get into your amateur career. Walk me through your amateur career. I'm curious about that.
Okay, so I was introduced to motocross through my dad. My dad was involved in racing. He was a mechanic for some factory road racing teams
Okay.
for a long time. He worked for Honda and then Yamaha. So racing has kind of always been in my blood, always been in my family. But I've grew up watching old Supercross DVDs and stuff. Grew up
Hmm.
watching Carmichael and Stewart and Reed and those guys. And I always wanted to race. I was asking to race since I was like 4 years old, but
Hmm.
financially we weren't able to. So I didn't get to start racing until I was 11. So a little bit later than a lot of people, or quite a bit later than a lot of people, felt like I was already 8 years behind from where other people are at when I
Hmm.
started racing. Um, so I started racing in 2011, and it was just for fun. Like I just got to race dirt bikes. It was already a dream come true at that point. And for the first few years, it was just do it for fun. Was getting progressively better, but I wasn't really anything on small bikes. I
Hmm.
really struggled on small wheels, and
Okay.
um, then in 2013, when I threw my leg over a 250, I started just winning some races in the beginner class at that time, which for me, or for anybody, like the beginner class stuff is usually looked at as, not as important, or like,
Yeah.
doesn't mean much, but everybody starts at a different point. So for me, like I really valued that, those first wins,
Hmm.
even though it was in that class. And, um, after that year, 2015, I went into the junior class and raced junior until 2016. I won some like provincial championships with MMRS at the time, and raced Walton. Didn't do crazy well. I think my best finish in the junior class of Walton was sixth or fifth, I believe, and nothing crazy. But then 2017, then I started training in the States for the first time. Went down to Illinois for 3 months. Did some Loretta Lynn's like C class qualifiers. Unfortunately, got bumped to B class. Unfortunately, yeah, it was just like I really wanted to go to Loretta's my first year in C class, but
Yeah.
I guess yeah, somebody didn't want me in that class, so I got protested and I had to do B class, which was a huge jump.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you're in the States, C class to B
Yeah.
class is gnarly. So got pushed into B when I was 17, which felt really soon, and honestly felt like I was starting to ride over my head at that point. Had some
Okay.
injuries,
Hmm.
and then that kind of falls into my health issues. So
Okay.
I started late, haven't accomplished a crazy amount.
Hmm.
This last year, my first year back after almost 2 years off the bike, or 2 years away from racing. Sorry, it was nice, to do some amateur national qualifiers for Loretta's in the States. I did regionals, my best moto finish at regionals, 250B was fourth. And I was
That's
pretty
pretty.
stoked on that.
That's good.
Um, yeah, thank you. And when I went to Walton, my goal was to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I was working really hard, and I felt like I could. I podiumed one moto, had the fastest lap time that moto. I was leading a majority of the race, but tipped over, completely my fault. But it felt good, like leading laps there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really looking forward to this next year. I'll be competing in intermediate again,
Okay.
and yeah, I'll be in intermediate again and doing all the pro nationals from out west to back to the east coast. So
So
um,
you said you're doing intermediate again, but you're gonna be uh, doing the pro nationals. So are you going to the
yeah,
states
so
to ride intermediate? Are you coming and then coming back here as a pro?
so you can race. As long as you didn't score points the previous
Okay.
year, you can race the nationals as a yellow plate.
Okay.
Really weird rule, of
Yeah,
course.
I think one of my interviews I did, I believe it was I forget who it was, but they were explaining to me that whole plate is a little different than the states, but
Very
yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, for sure. I get where
I'm
you're coming
grateful
from.
for it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it though. Like you get to get some motos in with the pro guys.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, pull speed quick. So I'm gonna do that. Go out west, and then until then, I'll be training at in Georgia with Gavin Garisick, preparing for that. So a lot of stuff kind
Hmm.
of transpiring, so I can accomplish what I want to accomplish this year. But yeah.
Man, so you got a lot of things going on. You're planning on heading to Atlanta. Why do you choose Gavin Gracek's place? Because I know a lot of guys from here head out to Florida and different parts, but of Florida. But you're heading to Atlanta. Why is that a choice of yours?
Why is that a choice of mine? So for me, like I haven't had a long term relationship with Gavin. Me and him just got in contact with each other a few months back. But Gavin's a great guy. He's
Mm.
a really successful coach. He's worked with a lot of great athletes, and he was a pro himself and had a lot of great results in Supercross and in outdoors. So for me, I believe he's a great coach and can get me
Yeah.
to that next level.
Okay.
Hence is the name of his facility, Next Level Motocross,
Hmm.
in Cairo. So, and then also on top of that, like his character, he's a fellow believer, and
Okay.
his life's built on the same foundation as mine is. So I think
Hmm.
it'll be a good matchup.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what's up, man. So how much time you planning on spending at his training facility?
So I was supposed to go down on the 3rd of January, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, with having to stay inside because a family member got COVID,
Yeah.
that's getting postponed a little bit. But I'm gonna head down, in the next week or so, and I'll be down there until probably the first pro national in June.
Okay, now while you're out there, you just gonna be training, or you gonna get some racing behind the gate as well?
Gonna get some racing in for sure. I'm not gonna be racing a ton,
Hmm.
um, but hope to do Daytona Amateur Supercross and or Freestone, depending on which
Hmm.
amateur national we choose to do. I'll compete in the college boy class there,
Okay.
which will keep me eligible to do P class intermediate in Canada because it's an AB class, and I'll do some like select Loretta's qualifiers, local races, just to keep fresh, like just to
Yeah.
get some gauge drops in.
Oh yeah. How'd you do last time in Daytona?
Uh, Not the best, I think I got 14th in college boy and like 16th in the B classes.
Hmm.
Um, it was my first race back in like a year and a half. So for me, it was
Yeah.
like I just wanted to have fun, and what better place to have fun at than Daytona? That
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
is so rad. So yeah.
Exactly. So you're gonna do all the nationals, huh? You're heading back west too when you come back too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna head out west. Just get our bikes transported down there, and
Hmm.
I'll fly. I believe there's only three rounds out west, so
Okay.
um, shouldn't be too difficult to get down there.
Are you driving out to Gavin's, or are you flying out? How are you getting your bikes and stuff out to Atlanta?
I'll drive.
You'll drive out there. Okay.
Yeah, I'll drive. Bring my motor home and just park it. And
You
it'll be good.
taking one bike out there? You're gonna take a bunch of spare parts. You got another. You got to practice in a race bike. You're gonna take them both.
Um, so right now I'm actually in the middle of switching brands. So I have one bike right now. I'll be on KTM's next year. So I'm really stoked about that. Really, yeah, couldn't thank GP Bikes enough in the Durham region for getting me a bike and tracking one down. It's so hard to get bikes right now, so
Yeah.
it's such a blessing that they're able to help out. And so I'll have one bike for now. I'll head down there, and then we'll get another bike while I'm down.